let's talk about Furman, man. Um, obviously, this is a game that, obviously anybody expects Clemson to, come out here and win. Furman is a team this season that's kind of been up and down in a lot of respects on both sides of the ball. And obviously coming in at 6-5, that would kind of entail that. They've been a team that hasn't really found a ton of consistency on either side of the football. But I do think they have some outstanding players that I think Clemson is going to have to, be mindful of in this football game. When we were talking about the offensive line injuries and kind of what that's going to look like, I think, I think Furman has arguably the best defensive lineman in all of FCS and Joshua Stone King.
Doesn't that dude got like 13 sacks on the season or something
13 and a half. He's been credited for. Yeah. He's only a sophomore, by the way.
He better watch out.
Yeah.
I bet you he ain't at Furman next year.
Oh no. I certainly think I would be surprised if he doesn't test his test the markets in the transfer portal and see what he can get from at the FBS level, because he is
right.
He is extremely disruptive on the edge. I'm interested to see kind of how that plays out, and what challenges he can give to this Clemson offensive line. At tackle, you're going to see, I expect to see more Tristan Lee and Blake Miller, but as Clemson, subs in guys, I think you'll see a lot of different offensive line combinations on Saturday. This will be a good opportunity for the young guys and a test for those guys, because they certainly have a lot of growing to do, and they certainly don't have a lot of experience. So I'm interested to see kind of how they go about blocking this guy up, because nobody to this point has really been able to.
Right.
He is a phenomenal football player. I think he's one of the finalists for FCS Defensive Player of the Year. I forget what they call the award off the top of my head, but he is a really, really good player. And I definitely expect him to be in a different uniform than the Paladins in 2026, unfortunately.
For sure.
I love seeing, FCS kids that ball out and stick around, but that's just not how it works nowadays. And I definitely think you'll see him at a P4 school here next year. That's just how things go now. But, offensively, I think, this is a Furman team that has really, really been, kind of up and down. They are a team that wants to run the football. They haven't had a whole lot of success, and it's kind of put a lot of pressure on their quarterback. I think Trey Hedden has been pretty decent at times. I think he's actually a pretty talented football player. You look at his stats, and he's thrown 12 interceptions. But I really think all of it has to do with I think this Furman offensive line is just flat out not very good. He's been sacked 21 times this season. That is the most of any quarterback in the FCS. I definitely think this is a game where the Clemson defensive line, should get after it early and often, because I think they are going to struggle to block really anybody up, and they've struggled to block a lot of teams up. I think when Hedden has time, he throws a really nice football, and he has some receivers that I think can make some plays. I really think that this is a game where the defensive line should get to shine with everything that they have, all the struggles they have up front. This should be a game where you see a lot of guys eat, not just the starters, and give you opportunity to see kind of get into the depth a little bit of the defensive line and see some of the younger guys. So there's not too much that is really complicated about this football game. Like I said, I think Clemson this should be a game that Clemson handles pretty comfortably. But hey, we said that a couple of years ago, and Furman, gave Clemson a little bit more than they could handle. I don't want to say more than they can handle, but a little bit more than they expected. They actually the last time these two teams played, Furman outgained Clemson. If you remember, that was a 35-12 win back in 2023, I want to say.
Yes.
This is different team now. not the same players, but I do think they have. I think if you can contain their standouts, I think you should be okay. So I definitely, this is a game you'll see a lot of Clemson. You'll see Clemson play a lot of guys as they should. I mean, this is your one true opportunity that you've had this season. Other than maybe the UNC and Boston College games, to really get a lot of guys a lot of reps, because you just haven't had many blowout victories in games where you're comfortably in the lead. So, I mean, as long as you take care of business here, I mean, this would be an opportunity to play, a number of guys that, you're going to have to rely on. You're going to be relying on and expected to take bigger roles in 2026 if you're looking ahead and thinking about the future. So, and you have any? What do you think about this team? Do you have any thoughts about this game that have you concerned? Anything that jumps out to you? Any other players that I didn't mention?
Yeah, I mean, look, nothing really that concerns me about this game. This should be a game that Clemson, as you mentioned, handles pretty easily, right? This Clemson front, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, should feast in this game. They should get multiple sacks in this game, at least 3 to 4 sacks, I think, come out of this game. You should have guys playing and kind of feeling themselves, right? It's Military Appreciation Day, which is always a big day in Clemson. They're going to be wearing the all purples, which is a great uniform. They're going to be, honoring all the seniors running down the hill. So it's going to be a great day in Clemson, and it should be a game that is pretty out of hand before the clock hits 0 in the first half, right? You should see a lot of guys get a lot of depth pieces get a lot of burn this week. I'd like to see Chris Vazina get in there. I'd like to see some of the depth pieces along the offensive line get in there. The defensive line, obviously, linebackers. Let's see what some of those guys behind Wade Woodaz and Sammy Brown have. It's going to be a big game for gauging your depth for next season, right? And seeing if those guys have made any strides since kind of spring, right? And since fall camp. So I think that's going to be a big key for this game. No disrespect to Furman, but Clemson's got no business with this game being close outside of the first quarter, right? It should get out of hand pretty quickly. We should be able to get a lot of depth pieces in. We should be able to get as many players as we want to play. You should be able to honor your seniors in a big way by pulling them all off of the field together. That's what Saturday should be for Clemson, and that's what I look for it to be. This is a Furman team that they've had their struggles this year. This is not one of their banner teams. They are going to come in. They're going to be physical. They're going to be spirited. They're going to try their best, right? But Clemson, frankly, should just out talent them early in this game, and it should be put away. So I look for a lot of the depth guys to get, a lot of snaps in this game on Saturday, and then also for your seniors to be honored in the proper way. Be pulled off the field altogether and all that stuff that Clemson normally does in a very classy way, and we get to do it against Furman in the all purples, which is kind of weird. We're playing a purple team and we're wearing all purple, so it should be fun. But one of my favorite days in Clemson, I actually wanted to go to this game. I can't make it, but I wanted to go to this game, but it's one of those things where got some other stuff going on. So, but Clemson should win this one easily. We should be able to stream it here on the channel, and you guys should come hang out with us, and we'll chop it up and have a good time as we hopefully have our easiest win of the season. At least that's what it should be, Jordan. We'll see.
Yes, that's what it should be. I mean, okay, listen, like if the times, okay, if this game gets a little uncomfortable, I think it's because, I mean, honestly, like your defense, if your defense just flat out doesn't show up, I mean,
Yeah.
I think especially if your front seven is getting home, you should be okay. Like I said, I do think Furman has a pretty. I think Trey Hedden is a pretty good quarterback. Actually, I think he's close to breaking their single season passing record. So that kind of shows that they have had to kind of throw the ball a lot because the running game has been kind of inconsistent. They ran the ball pretty well last week against VMI, but mostly on the season they haven't been very good. And they do have, like I said, they do have some receivers that can make some plays. Evan James is a true freshman kid. Their leader, he's been pretty good. He's been one of the better true freshman receivers in the FCS. I think they're also getting Jakeith Hamilton back. And if you want to feel old, they have Devin Hester Jr. I don't know if you guys know that, but yes, that is the son of Devin Hester. He is a receiver on that football team. I think he has 300 receiving yards on the year.
Am I that old, Jordan? Am I that old?
Yeah, we're all that old, man. So
sad times we live in.
Yeah, it's it really puts things into perspective. But that'll be fun to see him out there and
that'd be cool.
That can't be right. That's got to be a completely different Devin Hester. But no, that is Devin Hester's flesh and blood.
Ain't no way.
But yeah, I think you should have a lot of opportunities. And listen, Furman defensively, they have not been very good this year. Largely, they gave up 39. They gave up 39 points to Presbyterian. They gave up 52 to Western Carolina. Shout out to my brothers, soon to be alma mater. They gave up 52. I think 45 to Chattanooga. I think they gave up 52 to who was it? They gave up 52 to Western. I know they gave up 52 one other time this season. It might have been East Tennessee. So yeah, defensively they have struggled a lot.
Not good.
Yeah. It was Mercer. Excuse me.
Mercer.
They beat East Tennessee. It was Mercer that they gave up 52 to. So they've given up some pretty big point totals this year. So I mean, definitely think Clemson offensively should have a lot of opportunities to hit explosive plays, and passing and running the football should be a pretty efficient day as long as you just execute the basic stuff. So it really is just kind of limiting Stone King and making sure he doesn't beat you. You should be okay. So. Not too much complicated about this football game. Not too much that I think you really have to overthink. Hopefully for this team, but listen, anything can happen. This team has showed that anything can happen. I mean, if the Troy game was any example, just because you're playing an inferior opponent, significantly inferior opponent in terms of talent, does not mean this team is incapable of making mistakes and looking pretty awful. So hopefully we're past that point in the season, but who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. It should be one of those Saturdays where you just cruise to an easy victory, and Jordan, me and you can hang out on a stream and just chop it up together and have a good time. But again, what's our motto for the 2025 Clemson Tigers? Hold my beer. That's our motto. So I don't anticipate any sort of anxiety or high blood pressure situations for us this weekend, but you never know. It is the 2025 version of the Clemson Tigers, and they love to piss us off. So we'll see.
Indeed, they do. And listen, hey, I mean, this has been a team that has broken a lot of streaks in the wrong way.
In the wrong way, yeah, in all the wrong ways.
Clemson has beaten Furman 32 straight times. So hey, listen, that's a streak. That's another streak that's on the line. I mean, I don't know.
You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, we'll certainly have our thoughts, and those of you that are channel members, y'all make sure to come hang out with us.
For sure. We'll be live streaming the game. So guys, make sure if you want to come hang out with us, become a channel member. Hit that join button right under this video. Select your various tier. You'll support the show on a monthly basis. Me and Jordan will greatly appreciate it, and you'll get access to that exclusive game stream content that'll be happening this Saturday for the Furman game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think we've kind of exhausted everything we can talk about in this game. Let's go ahead and give our score predictions. I obviously I do think Clemson is the better team by a significant margin. I think this is a game that you should win pretty comfortably. Wouldn't surprise me if Furman hit some plays in the passing game. I do think they have. I mean, Trey Hayden is a good quarterback, and I think they do have some good receivers, and especially when you get into your depth. Listen, wouldn't surprise me if some of the younger guys make mistakes and you give up some plays. But all in all, I definitely expect this to be pretty comfortable. I'm feeling Clemson 50, 51, Furman 14. I think that's a good number. And I think you win this game pretty comfortably, and we'll be gearing up for South Carolina here pretty soon, and talking about bowl eligibility. Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna go Clemson 49, Furman 10. So yeah, obviously I think Clemson wins big. I don't, they're Clemson is gonna out athlete them. They're gonna out compete them. It's gonna be a landslide type victory in my opinion. I don't think Furman can keep up. This is not a great defense by any means that Clemson's going to go up against on Saturday. They should be able to get points at will. And I'll be interested to see the depth pieces. That's kind of what this sort of game, as a fan, what you're looking forward to is kind of seeing those people that the coaches have talked about all season about getting in there. This is the type of game that they get in there, and you finally get to see them get live snaps in an actual college football game. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But it's going to be a big victory by Clemson. I got 49-10 Tigers.
I like it.